Good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Vegas Views. Dawn Sullivan, Danny Miner, absolutely no meds. Danny, how was your week?
Of course. Every time you say it, it just goes off, right? It just goes off. If you saw my TikTok this week, it's probably the most hated I've been in a couple of months.
Oh, man.
Well, listen, I got back into politics a little bit.
I saw a couple of them this week. Okay, tell us about it.
And I'm not going to stay on it because it irritates me so bad. I got to get off it. But how do you have 9/11, 22 years, and your president of the United States don't show up?
He was in Alaska.
Well, he was in Alaska, yeah. And let's be honest, the reason he didn't show up, he would have embarrassed the country.
Absolutely.
That's why he didn't show up. The Democrats aren't going to tell you that, but they told him not to.
Yeah, you know his whole staff was like this, low-key.
Yes.
They were like, I wouldn't do it, not this time. But why? I want to go.
Yes.
No, not this time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you see him in Vietnam?
No.
Oh my God. It was the worst thing I've ever seen. He basically was on stage in front of all these leaders and was lost. He was lost. He was like walking around, didn't know what he's doing. Then he started talking, and his press secretary got nervous, and they shut the mic off on him. Because he was saying crazy stuff.
Do you know
he didn't even know where he was.
Danny, it's going to be a matter of time before they go and they say, okay, they've got to check this guy out, like see if he's okay and he's still okay upstairs. Because he loses it sometimes in conversation. You can see he's just gone. He goes away and he comes back and then he says inappropriate stuff. I can't remember the last time I've seen him ever act somewhat normal, probably during the election.
Yes.
He kind of said a couple of normal things here and there.
Right.
But he was still stuttering and
Yeah.
No, it's almost like he needs to be in an old age home.
Yes. And it's not his fault.
No, he's old.
I blame the people that put him there.
Yes.
This is to the point, and I'm not kidding, I'm not exaggerating this, folks. This is to the point it's elderly abuse. This man is embarrassing himself every single day. I blame his wife, too. I already told my girlfriend, I said, if I get that old and I'm embarrassing myself, please pull me off the stage. Tell me not to do this anymore. The man definitely has something wrong with him, and we're ignoring it. We're ignoring it.
It's got to be.
And do you know why they're ignoring it, Dawn? I'll tell you why they're ignoring it.
Because the Trump haters are still. Because this is about hating Trump. This is all.
That's all it is.
Everyone just put him in office. What's her name again? Camilla.
Well, that's the problem. That's what I think the problem is.
Yeah.
The Republicans don't want to do the medical thing on him because they can make him take a medical test and they don't want to do that because they know what's worse coming.
Yeah.
You got this person, the vice president, who doesn't make any sense. Listen, I should not run a country. I have no clue how to run a country. But you know what? Either does she. She just laughs because she has no clue of what's going on. None.
Danny, you know why you'd be amazing running this country? Guys, I'm going to tell you, because he tells the truth.
Yes.
You tell the truth. That's all we really need.
But they don't want the truth. Especially Democrats. They don't want the truth.
Well, you know what? You're right. I think this country's kind of afraid of the truth.
Yes.
They're afraid to be normal, and they're afraid of the truth. They want to live like sheep in the lie. And
yes.
That's it. Okay, we're starting this hot. We're going controversial today. Okay. So, no, I agree with you 100%. We got to do something about that. But it's a matter of time. There's no way he's getting reelected.
There's no way. I don't know if he has fallen so far in the polls.
I know.
And it's just ridiculous. What he did, if you watch his latest speech, I'm telling you, it's so embarrassing. They had to cut him off because they were afraid what he was going to say. He doesn't even know where he's at. Honestly, I blame his wife. I blame his wife. Step in.
That's what I said.
This is horrible.
Jill needs to be like,
yes.
reel it in. This isn't for you. Come on, let's just do something different here.
Yes.
You made it. You did it. You beat Trump. Let's go.
And you know what? It makes other countries, I don't care what anybody says, it makes us look weak. When you have a weak leader, it makes you look weak. Everybody.
Not even just a weak leader. How is he getting along with the upcoming generations? They're looking at this guy, like, for them to have a leader that's just not functioning.
Right.
And we got some sharp young people these days with the internet, and we have some sharp. They're looking at him, zero respect, so then they're not respecting authority at all.
Right.
We need him out. He needs to go.
And there's no way he runs. There's no way they could say, you think a year and a half from now he's going to be on the ballot? No way.
I don't think 6 weeks from now he's going to be.
I don't either. I think the decline's going quick.
Oh, yeah,
it's really quick.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, Don. I can't believe there is smart people out there. They hate Trump so bad.
Yes.
So bad that they ignore what's going on. I have an attorney friend. He was on my TikTok. Me and him went at it on my TikTok last night because he was sticking up for Biden. And I'm thinking, this is an educated man. Yeah. This is a man that graduated from an elite college. Okay? I didn't. He did. but yet he can't see this. His hatred for Trump is so big that he can't see what's going on right in front of him. Mm-hmm. He can't see it, and this is an educated man. I'm shocked by it.
Don't get me wrong.
Shocked.
I understand why some people may not like Trump, but I think I am open-minded enough to understand that no one's perfect, but Trump, again, like you, he's kind of just a truth teller. The guy tells the truth. When he does something, he kind of says, yeah, I kind of did that, but let's brush that under the carpet, move forward, and see how great I am. He's a narcissist. You're not a narcissist. He's a total narcissist, and we know it. The world
My girlfriend
knows
may
it.
have called me that a couple times, but
You are so not a narcissist. Oh my God, but if you are, you'd be a complete covert narcissist. You know what that is? Those are the slick, sneaky ones, but you're not. You know what? No, you're not, because you like bringing people joy. True narcissists don't give a shit if they're brought joy or not.
But I see some similarities between me and Trump.
Yeah, I do too.
I mean, because, I come off as arrogant. I do. I'm sure you feel
loud,
that way. Yes.
Arrogant.
Right.
Not to me, but to the world, yeah.
Yeah.
Loud, arrogant, outspoken, zero filter.
Right.
The difference between you and Trump, though, is you are not completely self-absorbed. You honestly do care about other people.
Oh, I do, yes.
You do. No, he's like this. What's good for Trump? And that's what needs to happen. And please just rub my back and stroke my ego. And you're not like that.
Right.
You don't give a shit if people are stroking your ego or not. You just want to be heard.
Right.
Where Trump needs to be heard and stroked. So there's the difference. You don't need the ego stroke. He needs the ego stroke.
Listen, I do see why people hate him. I do.
Yeah.
He's arrogant. He's obnoxious. He doesn't care. He said some horrible things, but guess what? He ran this country fantastic.
You know what?
He ran this country fantastic.
Fantastic. Most people, I don't care what anybody says, most people were in a fantastic financial situation with him. Home buying was easy with him. American dream, he brought it back because he wasn't a politician. He was a businessman. And you know what? I like the fact that he said some of those kind of nasty things. It makes him human. You know what scares me in this lifetime as a psychologist, which makes me scared, is people that have something that they're too perfect.
Yes.
They're too good. When someone's like, I've done this and I've lived a squeaky clean life, I'm like, ooh, those skeletons. Like, I can't wait to see what they are.
Right.
If someone is putting on so much of a good facade and there's no negative there, that scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, me too.
Trump is like, look at my shit. I'm tarnished all over. And he doesn't care. Then you got Biden that's like, no, we have this perfect house and his son's sucking on a crack pipe. And then you got this. I can't wait till Jill's drama starts happening. Seriously, it's true. What do you got, Jill? I don't know why I have it out for Jill.
Listen, when Trump during the election, there was a couple times during the election, the first election, that I thought, wow, this is over. And when he first ran, I'm going to be honest, when he first got into the election in 2016, I thought, it's a joke. Honest to God, I thought it was a joke. I thought this man has no prayer to win.
Yeah.
Honest to God, I thought it was a joke. I thought it was funny. And then as I heard him talk, the more I started thinking, maybe I'd vote for this guy. Like after I started hearing him talk, but at first it was a joke.
Do you know back in the 80s, my father said to me, oh, that, and Trump was a young man, and he was building the Taj Mahal and his wife, and the whole thing, and my dad said, that man's going to be the president one day, and we were like, yeah, bullshit. That's funny, he's just a rich businessman. My dad said, that guy's going to be a good president.
Yeah.
And he called it decades before it even happened, he's going to be a good president, and I believe he was a fantastic president.
Right.
Yeah,
I think he was a great president, and if you say that, you're this, you're that, you're this. And listen, to the liberals out there, and listen, I don't care if I offend them. I don't. I really don't.
We discuss this on...
Because they get offended by everything. They get offended by cereal commercials. They get offended by everything. Okay? Everything hurts their feelings. Oh. Guess what? This world's not fair, liberals. It's not fair.
There was something I saw the other day that was so racist. And I was like, oh my God, they still have that. They made us change like our... Didn't our syrup change?
Yes.
Something? The syrup changed. So a lot of Native American, Indian, that kind of stuff changed. Oh, there was something so racist. I got to remember and tell you. And I was like, that doesn't change, but this changed. And I was like trying to pick at it. To me, I can care less.
Right.
But like anything about my nationality, my race, whatever. I don't get bent over things like that. So I can understand other people. I don't want to take that from them, but it's gone too far. I mean,
it's gone way too far.
The canceled Kanye
and people are getting sick of it. They're getting sick of it. Yeah. All you are is a whiny crybaby. Pull your pants up, please. You're a big person now. Quit being offended by BS. It irritates the shit out of me. It really does.
You know what I read on my Instagram? People said, "Are you guys unhappy with your production team?" I'm like, question mark, who? they're like, you and Danny, like, the last 4 weeks, I don't know if you guys are just really aggressive and upset, but are you trying to get canceled? I'm like, oh, we love Maria. We love our production. No, social media networks, that's our thing. We love it. They're like, okay, because everything you guys say is like targeting to get yourselves canceled. And I was like, no, we're not dangling the carrot to get canceled.
You know what?
No.
Here's the problem. You can't cancel me. I have an income for the rest of my life. I have a pension. I'm never going to starve. So when you get a person like me, I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you. I don't care what you say about me.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah,
you can't cancel me. And I have a TikTok, I have a social media. My voice will always be heard. So get used to it.
Yeah. They can't be silenced. I love that. You know why? This is so funny. I just had this whole thing go on yesterday about how I won't be silenced on the specific things. You can't shut me the fuck up.
Right.
Sorry. My cursing. That's the one bad thing.
You do curse more than me.
100%.
Yes.
Oh my God. There's a little boy at my agency. He's so cute. He is the grandson of, you guys know Frank Perillo. Frank, he's one of my business partners there. He's a teacher. He's fantastic. He does production and everything. He's a little grandson. And one time I said like the S word and I said, oh man, and I owe you $1. So then not too long. And I walked into the building. The kid's 5 and I said, what the fuck? And he goes, that's $16. And I'm like, oh shit. Like the kid's counting every time I curse. I owe him some money. So yeah, my mouth is terrible. I blame that on being from New York. It's second nature to curse. But anyway, like I was saying before, it's out of control.
It's out of control.
You can't really stop people from saying how they feel. They could just dislike us, and they do, and that's okay. And some people love us, some people hate us. That's what it is.
Right.
But yeah, I like that you'll never be silenced. That's cool. Keep telling us how you feel because you make a lot of sense to certain people. Other people think you're totally whacked out.
Oh yeah.
But to me, I get it. I understand.
And you know that lawyer I'm talking about that we got in an argument about this, very educated man. He once said to me such a horrible thing. He said to me, he said, only the good people live on California and New York. The rich people, everybody else don't even matter. That's basically what he told me. That California, if you live in California, New York, you're rich. Doesn't matter. That's why they're smarter people. That's why they vote Democrat. That's what he told me. People in California and New York, they're smarter than the rest of the world.
I'm from New York, and I mean, your friend's making sense. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just saying, now that makes no sense. And you know what? I love when you say that, too. Went to an Ivy League school, and so smart.
Yes.
Smart is as good as the decisions you make.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you this.
Education's one thing. Decisions are...
I did our hiring at the police department.
Yeah.
I interviewed everybody. I did the hiring process, everything. I looked for people with average intelligence with common sense.
Yep.
If you had above average intelligence with no common sense, I wanted no part of you.
Nope.
If you don't have common sense, I don't care how smart you are, you're going to screw the job up. You really are.
The best kind of person on this planet to me, and don't get me wrong, to even young people watching, education is so important. Stay in school, get a backup plan, have 3 backup plans, have 4 side hustles. Definitely important. But to me, the person that's the most hireable and the person that I want on my team is I'll get it done. Whatever
Yes.
we'll figure it out, I'll get it done. That takes a lot of common sense. Sometimes that takes their education and their training, but to me is those I'll get it done type of people. And I surround myself with those types of people.
I agree with you. And listen, I was promoted like 5 times throughout my career in police work. And every time I got promoted, you would hear the little things background. He kisses people's ass. He kisses the chief's butt. He does this. No, you know what I did? When the chief said, hey, could we do this? I didn't make excuses. I did it. Even if I didn't think we could do it, the chief says, hey, can we do this? I'll try to get it done, chief. I'm going to do it. Other guys, we can't do that. We can't do this. And then they wonder why they didn't get promoted.
Yeah.
Okay? It wasn't kissing ass. I was finding solutions.
Yeah.
And I got promoted all throughout the ranks my whole 27-year career.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have probably still got promoted to lieutenant and everything else.
Can you say you just figured it all out? You figured it out. You made it happen.
And people, they look at you and they think, oh, he kisses butt, he does this. No, I just hustled more than you.
Yeah.
But you don't hustle,
Absolutely.
okay? So that's what it is. But there was always, every time you took the police civil service test to be promoted, rumors, oh, he kissed butt, he did this, he did that.
Yeah,
You know
this
what
is
I mean?
going to boil back later in our episode today. We do have a guest today. I know it's very rare for Danny and I to bring a guest on lately.
Because they can't handle us.
No, we alienate. We're so cliquey. We gotta stop being cliquey. But we're letting this guy on because he's awesome. But this is gonna boil back.
And he doesn't believe in aliens either, so we might get into that conversation. He totally does not believe in it.
Oh, so he's realistic.
He's
very realistic.
he's too realistic. He says, why would they have lights on their spaceships? We'll get into it.
See, you're alienating him. You are.
I'm alienating him, right.
You're like, oh, he's not a part of us.
Yes.
You did a total
Like he's our enemy today because he doesn't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But when he comes on, that's going to be another thing that we're talking about is decision making. And remind me of this: occupation and decision making when it comes to getting things done, and those types of people that we want on our team this lifetime.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Well,
you're good.
You know what I think we should talk about? I don't know if you saw this. Did you see what the New Mexico governor did?
Oh, I need to hear this.
Well, I did a video.
I've been busy. Tell me.
Okay, she went and said she declared a public health emergency and banned all guns in the whole state of New Mexico.
Oh.
She decided she doesn't give an F about the United States Constitution. She can give an F about the Second Amendment. She's going to take it. This lady out of 1 billion people is going to decide you should not carry a gun. One lady. That's how far this has gone, Don. That's how far this has gone.
That is absolutely insane.
And now listen,
and in a place like that as well.
Yeah, her party is turned on her too.
Yeah.
And her party is turned on her. Honestly, I think she physically could be arrested for this. You are violating the Constitution.
Yeah.
I think she put herself in jeopardy of being arrested.
Yeah.
The governor of New Mexico. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But she won't because she's a Democrat. Only Republicans get arrested. Okay? I saw 16 Republicans get arrested. I haven't seen any Democrat get arrested. 0. And we know they're as corrupt to the high heavens. High heavens. The Biden family is corrupt. The Clinton family is corrupt. The Obamas are corrupt. Cut it out. I'm sorry.
Tell us how you really feel.
I'm sorry. We're sitting
I
there.
have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Favorite president of all times?
Ugh. Jimmy Carter. I'm just kidding.
You were young with Jimmy Carter. You were, how old are you? 10 years old with Jimmy Carter,
I'm
right?
just kidding.
I'm just kidding. Do you have a favorite president?
I would probably say Ronald Reagan. Didn't you expect me to say that?
I didn't. He is a covert narcissist. Ronald Reagan was a covert narcissist.
I like JFK too. And he was a Democrat. He was the only Catholic president. I don't consider Biden a Catholic president. He's a fake Catholic. Okay? He's a fake Catholic.
You freaking hate Biden.
I do.
You hate Biden.
Because him and Nancy Pelosi, listen, I don't want to get into religion, okay? Because my religion shouldn't be your religion, my thoughts.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
But when you say you're a Catholic, like Biden and Nancy Pelosi, and you're really not a Catholic, but I will bet you both of them are in church singing every Sunday, look at me, I'm in church, I'm the best person on the planet. I will guarantee you they haven't missed Mass in 10 years. I guarantee it. Just like the Mafia. The Mafia could be digging a ditch, throwing somebody in the ocean. They're in Mass on Sunday, guaranteed, saying Hail Mary. It's guaranteed. Same thing with the Democratic Party. I said what I said.
So I like to just reiterate it sometimes just in my words. So what he said was the Democratic Party was like the Mafia. That's what he said.
Listen,
tell me about the Mafia. What do you think?
And
Be honest. What do you think about the Mafia? What do you think? Like, you think we're fading out now? Do you think you're here?
Listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm pretty sure my father was mixed up in it. I'm being honest with you. You're looking at me like he's insane. I'm not going to sit here and tell you. I know he was.
Yeah,
I know he was. Okay.
So you're kind of like a mafia kid that ended up a cop. But did you grow up like a mafia kid? Like, you know what I mean by mafia kid? Did you grow up like you kind of knew, but you didn't know, but you don't talk? You just go with everything that happens, and your family secret's a family secret. You move forward. You don't know nothing.
Listen, Don. One day I was sitting in front of the TV with my dad and mom, and I was watching all my dad's friends get arrested. They were in handcuffs and everything. My dad got a letter from the FBI saying that he was what am I saying? Audio tape. What I'm trying to think. When they tap your when they tap your phone. Yeah.
Surveilled.
They tapped his phone. They tapped our phone line. And my dad was on the tap. Okay? My dad was never arrested, but they have to notify you when you were on tap. So my dad was talking. All his buddies were arrested for it. Was all gambling related.
Yeah.
Okay. It was all gambling, being bookies and everything. So
which is very, very illegal back there.
My dad couldn't be a made man. My dad was only half Italian.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to be full Italian.
Explain to our audience what a made man means. I know what a made man means. What does a made man mean?
A made man means there has to be permission to take him out.
Yeah.
When you're a made man, you can't just be taken out. There's got to be a meeting. There's got to be everything for you to be taken out, and you got to have pure blood from Italy. I mean, you can't just be half. You can be part of the crew, but you ain't going to be a made man.
Right.
If you're not full Italian.
You have to be from the motherland.
Yes, you have to, and you have to show your roots. So, listen, I don't think my dad was like fully in it, but I'm telling you, all his buddies were. I know that for a fact.
And then you had a ton of uncles that you didn't know who was really an uncle or not. Everyone was like your family, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you this other thing. I had a friend of mine that was a little rough around the edges, and he was a bounty hunter. And he had a little bit of a criminal record, but he bounty hunted for these people, and he would get like 10 grand if he picked these violent criminals up. But he's crazy. Yeah. He was a New Yorker too, big dude, crazy. And he used to come down my dad's car lot and sit there and talk to us all the time. So I know we have 2 minutes. I'm going to make this real quick. He came to me one day and said to me, "Hey, your dad wants me to beat somebody up for him. He offered me money." I'm like, "What?" I said, "Don't do it." He said, what happened was one of my dad's friends, his wife was cheating on him with this guy, and my dad and this guy were paying this guy to, my dad said, "Just rough him up a little." I said, "Don't do it." I swear to God, Don, I'm not lying to you. So I know my dad was mixed up in this. My sisters and my mom, clueless. I knew. My mom and sisters, clueless.
How did Dad feel about you being a cop?
He used to tell me to keep my badge on the top of the hill. My dad would... Listen, my dad's passed. My dad's passed, so the statute of limitations is up. My dad would sell illegal cable boxes, you know what I mean, where you'd get home box and... Look at me, home box. HBO. HBO. Remember them illegal cable boxes? My dad sold them. My sisters would say to me, I would tell my sisters, "Dad's selling illegal cable boxes." She's going, "No, it's not." I said, "They're stolen illegal cable boxes." She's going, "No, they're not." I said, "Where do you think he got it from?" He got it from the cable company.
The cable guy didn't show up and installed.
My dad would leave a box, and they would leave my dad $300, and he'd give him that. I swear to you, my dad did this stuff. So I know my dad was mixed up in this stuff.
Get this.
All right?
I'm still so afraid of my dad that I'm just like, don't even know what you're talking about. My dad's dead and gone for a long time, still not talking. Danny, he would have called you, what do you call you, a stool pigeon. My dad would have just called you a stool pigeon. He would have said, "Oh my God, that guy's a talker. You don't talk with what you know."
If I was in the mafia, they'd have killed me. Because I can't keep my mouth shut. That's why my dad probably never got me involved, because I'd have been in a ditch. I'd have been in the ocean. Yeah.
What's your dad's name?
Danny.
Oh, Danny, you're a cool guy, but that kid of yours, his mouth is like...
I'll tell you some stuff off there.
Guys, I have to go for a commercial break. So Danny's family's all mafia. We know the whole truth now. I'm just kidding. So how many people have you killed? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Guys, I'll be right back.
It's a tough market. We get it. Home inventory is at an all-time low. It's a seller's market, and cash buyers have the advantage. Recently, cash buyers made up more than a quarter of all home purchases. But we have the solution. New American Funding's Buyer Accepted program allows your buyers to compete with all cash offers by becoming cash buyers themselves. Here's how it works. Buyer Accepted LLC, an affiliated company of New American Funding, will purchase your buyer's new home with cash and sell it back to them for the original purchase price, plus a fee that can be added to the purchase of the home once they secure mortgage financing with New American Funding. The best part is that they don't need to sell their current home first. This is a true cash offer. Clients who use our Buyer Accepted program can secure financing using a conventional loan and even VA. Plus, there are no fees for agents and no sacrificing commissions. Buyer Accepted even offers a free 1-hour certification course that will make you the expert. You want to close more deals and help more clients? New American Funding's Buyer Accepted program is the answer.
Las Vegas, here we come!
I can't believe we're all moving to Vegas.
I know, right? It's a dream come true.
Wow, super creepy dude.
Mason, stop. I think he heard you.
What if he has someone locked up in the back of his cinema? gone. Someone took her.
Who's that creepy trucker?
What are you doing?
They call me Mother Trucker.
Hi, I'm Deacon T with Modern Word Ministries. It's great to be with you today. Just a short little promo for our show. Every Sunday morning we have service, and you can follow us at 10 a.m. Pacific Time on modernwordministries.org. And if you missed us or you want to see some of our older messages, go ahead and check us out on socialmediashows.com every single morning at 9 a.m. It's a great way to kick off your day, get a little bit of the word in you, get something uplifting, get you started off on your way. You know, if you're looking for prayer or you need some help, reach out to us. If you go to our website, again, that's modernwordministries.org, you can interact with me via telephone, via DM, text message, whatever you want. I'll get right back to you. So if you need prayer, you need help, you just need somebody to talk to, Modern Word Ministries is here for you. We are your church in the community. So until you see you next time, be blessed, everybody. Bye-bye.
We are back. The FBI was just here to talk to me about my dad, and I took the fifth. I'm not that dumb. I'm not talking to the FBI, Don.
But you said it on film, so I was like, I don't really know this guy. They just put him next to me, and I know nothing. That's it.
Listen, my dad... Listen, I would tell him, Dad, you can't do this, because he ran a car lot. Yeah. And I would come down there not as a police officer, but on my days off. Yeah. And I worked for my dad, too. I'd work part-time, right? I'd come down and say, Dad, you can't do this, blah, 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 blah. And you know what he would tell me? Where I worked as a cop was... where he had the gas station, you'd have to go up a hill to where I worked. My dad would say, keep your badge on top of the hill. Mm-hmm. That's what he'd say. You just keep that badge. Yeah, keep that badge on top of the hill. That's what he would say.
Yeah, when you come down here, I'm your father.
Yes, keep that badge up on top of the hill. So, I mean, he was happy. He encouraged me to be a cop. Yeah, he really did. Cool. And all his friends were cops. So he was, you know how that goes. Yeah. So all his friends were cops, you know, plus he had his business partners, and you know, that's just the way it is. You know, I got to tell you a quick story before we get into something. Let's do it. Right. My dad had a stroke. My dad had heart attacks, and then he had a stroke. When he had his stroke, he was disabled. Okay. He couldn't get up and down the steps. My mom calls me one day and says, hey, and she says the two guys' names who I know to be, okay, she said, they showed up today at the house. They put one of them chairs in for your father outside. They didn't charge us anything. They said it was on them. And I'm thinking to myself, of course they're taking care of my dad. He's old now. He had a stroke. Nobody just comes in the goodness of their heart and puts this chair in for you to lift him up to the top of the steps. You know, and I told my sisters that too. My sisters, like, I talked to my sisters about what I seen with my father. And they still.
No, he was just a car.
Yeah, where do you get, you know what they say to me? Where do you get this? That's what they say to me. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, Dad trusted me with a little more stuff than he trusted you guys with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He told me what he did.
And when you grow up in that environment too, don't you just kind of know? You know.
I know, yeah. I know.
I think by the time I was like maybe 14, 15 and I watched other movies, I was like, oh, I see what kind of family we are. I understand now. Yeah. Yeah.
And where I come from Hazleton, Pennsylvania. That was in the Philadelphia newspaper in the 80s. Hazleton was on the front page of the Philadelphia Inquirer and the Philadelphia News, and they called Hazleton Mob City. Mm-hmm. People were living in that city and hiding themselves. They were from New York City, but living in Hazleton. Yeah. And they were the mafia.
And you guys are a massive gambling city.
Yes.
Massive.
Yeah, everybody likes to gamble. Everybody's, you know. And our city was really weird when I grew up. The Italians, the Polish, the Irish, everybody was in a different section. Yeah. This is the Italian section of town. This is the Polish section. We lived in the Polish section of town, believe it or not. My mom was Polish. And
I lived amongst all the Jews.
Did you really?
All the Jews. Uh-huh.
I was Polish. I went to Polish Catholic school, everything. Mm-hmm. You know, but my dad was Italian. My mom was Polish. My mom was not allowed to date my father.
Wow, so it was that.
Because Italians back then were discriminated against.
Yeah.
They weren't really considered white.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's the truth.
Yeah.
They weren't considered white.
He's bringing race into this now. Okay, I knew this was going to happen eventually. So if we don't see you next week, I love you guys. Thank you for all the love. We'll be back on another platform if we get canceled, because now we just brought the race part in.
Well, honestly, we did. Republicans, Italians were discriminated against. They were.
You can't say that, though.
Why?
Because you can't say that they were like, you weren't insinuating they're too dark. Right?
That's what they said.
We're in a cancel culture, dude. We're still in like Kanye cancel culture.
But that's what they said.
Mm-hmm.
You don't agree?
No, I don't know. I agree with what you're saying. I'm just saying we said it on the platform.
What? I don't know what I said wrong. Did I say something wrong?
So Danny said that Italian people were too dark, so his dad couldn't marry his mom.
That's the truth, though.
Okay.
They were discriminated against. They said Italian people were not white enough. That's the truth. We were discriminated when we got here to Ellis Island. They changed our last name. They changed my last name.
You told me this. What was it?
So I was definitely discriminated against.
What was the original last name before they took it to minor? What was it?
Minero.
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 That's kind of cool.
It is cool. Danny Minero. That would have been better. Yeah.
No, Danny Miner's good. Danny Minero. Minero, I like it. It's cool.
So we were. I'm telling you the truth. My mom was not allowed to date my dad because they said he wasn't white enough. I'm being serious. If you look it up, Italians were considered not white enough. Mm-hmm. It's the truth. So I'm not lying. I don't know who would get offended by that. But it's the truth. I'm the one being discriminated against. Nobody else. Not that I'm discriminated against. I'm just saying.
I can't. So it's not you right now. It's the production. Okay,
That's 'cause she's dying.
She films this show and she just cries laughing most of the time.
My mother would have to lie to her father that she was going out with my dad.
That's
Lie to him. My dad would get beat up if he went into the Polish section. They would beat him up.
And then 2 weeks later, there's a bunch of dead Polish people.
Well, my dad was a kid at that time. Literally, he was a kid.
Father, I'm sure.
But that's true. Honestly, I'm not trying to, bring Italians that they were discriminated. We were discriminated against. It's the truth.
I think
we were considered not white enough.
I honestly think in every race and every culture, everyone gets hate, guys. Everybody.
Yes.
And I know it's just so public now about, racism in the country is or supposedly so divided. I don't even know if they just tell us the country's so divided or if we're really divided. Because a lot of stuff that I do see on social media and TikTok and stuff like that, people are coming together more so than they want us to believe they're coming together. As far as race, you think differently.
I think we can't come back from this.
You think it's so bad we can't come back?
Yes. I think this country's in trouble.
I hope not.
I think this country's in trouble. Everybody gets on it. Just think about this. Just think about it. You got nervous at me. I said that I was discriminated against. We're to the point that we can't even say that. You know what I mean? It's to the point.
Because we have just in a month span, I think we have 84 knocks of we're about to get canceled, I'm waiting for the ball to drop. I'm waiting for it to be guys, listen, Danny pushed it too far. Dawn, you should know better.
Listen, I've been thrown out of 2 studios already.
I know. He gets thrown out of the studios. I'm trying to protect us here. I like what we got going on here.
Listen. It's just the way it is. If you get offended, I don't know what to tell you.
I know, but you keep getting canceled, Danny. And then we sit and we're we're not going to be silenced. We're going to be heard. Eventually, they're going to silence us.
Listen, I'm sure people have warned Dawn about putting me on the show.
Yeah, but then I was I can handle anything. I can control the narrative. Fuck no. And most people that are Dawn, you're the loudest person I know. You've got, and I'm really? Because now I'm silent. Next to Danny,
I know, I did
quiet.
silence you today. I did silence you.
I just don't want to get canceled. I like our outlet here.
We won't get canceled.
Okay.
Because I said I was discriminated against?
Yeah.
I was.
Oh, speaking of discriminated against, I got to get serious for 1 second, guys, before we bring on our guest in a little bit. I watched your TikTok. One thing, you made me cry last night, 9/11. Guys, everybody, 9/11, so sad.
Well, it's not that sad. Joe Biden didn't show up.
Oh my God.
Our president of the United States didn't think it was worthy enough.
Oh my God. So I watched your other TikTok too about this young lady. You got to tell me a little bit more about this.
Ugh.
This is disgusting. This is sad. My heart goes out, and this is dead serious. Tell us about this situation this morning. I don't even know her name. I don't know her name.
I don't know her name either off the top of my head. So what happened was back in Seattle, back in January, this girl was hit in a crosswalk by a police officer. A police officer responding to a call.
Kind of young girl. She was how old?
26.
20? Okay.
Hits her in the crosswalk and kills her. Okay? Now, he was responding to a call. I don't know if he had his lights on. I'm really not sure what he had. But we have a union as police officers, okay? So if we shoot somebody, something like that, we call the union president. They get an attorney out for us right away, especially if we shoot somebody. They start, you know what I mean? That's why we have a union, okay? So the one officer leaves that scene of where now it's not the same officer.
Right.
It's not the officer that killed the girl.
He's just the guy calling it
He's
in.
just the guy calling the union president.
Okay.
So this police officer gets in his call, and while he's responding to a non-emergency call, he decides, I'm going to call the union president and tell him what happened.
Okay.
So he doesn't know this, but he leaves his mic on. Calls the union president and basically laughs about this girl being killed. And listen, it's not one of these nervous laughs because, cops and nurses and doctors do that to make themselves, just get through the day.
No, he's straight up laughing like
straight up
give
laughing.
a shit less.
At one point he says, give her family $11,000 check. She's only 26 years old. How much value did she have?
Right. That's the part.
Yeah.
I mean, all of it's disgusting, but how much value did she have? This is a human life. Someone's daughter, somebody's, I don't know if she had kids, someone's possible mother, someone's sister, someone's brother. This is absolutely disgusting. Now, legally, can we do anything to this guy? He needs to lose his job. He should
be fired. 100% fired. He should be fired today.
Yeah.
Because they just released it. It happened in January, but they just released the video.
That is and poor parents.
Oh my
I couldn't
God.
imagine being a parent and then having to hear that and what do you do with that? That is so sad. Someone just disregarding your child's life. That is disgusting.
Oh, it's horrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible.
That one was so sad for me. I was like, this is just now it's getting bad.
But I just go through
And you know what else I thought about too? Sorry to cut you off. What else I thought about too is not just the cop that did it, the union rep to also allow someone like that. Because in this lifetime, you only get away with what people allow you to get away with. You treat people the way they allow you to treat them. So if someone gets treated poorly, it's because you're allowing someone to treat you poorly. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
I demand people treat me good, they're going to treat me good. So if this union rep, who's supposed to be, I guess, a superior to you guys in a way, not a superior, but someone is a union rep, someone that you should respect, right? If this cop can laugh it off and just say, ha, 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 that union rep has to answer, why is this cop comfortable enough to talk to him that way?
Yes.
Because I know certain things with me, people are not very comfortable talking to me about specific things because I won't allow them. There's a boundary that is set. So what is this? It's the cop plus the guy he's talking to.
Yeah. Now the union rep's going to be a police officer too.
Which is even worse.
Yes. I mean, he's going to be
disgusting to me. That is absolutely disgusting.
I was the president of our union, our police union. And there's a lot of troubled officers that come and need help, but the union is needed, especially nowadays. I mean, it really is, but this was totally disgusting.
So let me ask you a question. When you're a union rep, you get on the phone with somebody and they're like, yeah, Danny, this and that. What would your response be? Honestly, what would your response be if this cop's laughing? Would you be like, what is wrong with you?
I'd be like, Jesus, you gotta be kidding, this happened. I would be upset. If I was that cop and I was just on that scene, I'd be physically upset for that girl and for the officer that hit her. I'd be like, he didn't mean to do this. I would be physically upset.
I'm almost trying to find compassion because that's what they say in the psychological field, what you need to do first before, judging people, which I'm horrible at that because I'm a talent agent too, so I get the best of both worlds, is to find the reason. In my mind, the only thing that I can think of is that the officer, and I'm not defending him by any means, please do not think that I'm out here saying that what this cop did is right because it is dead wrong in every aspect. I don't agree with him. I think it's disgusting. I think he's disgusting as a human. But the only thing I can think is on a psychological level, maybe it was his only coping mechanism to laugh it off. I don't care, because if maybe he said out loud he doesn't care, then maybe he would feel deep inside he doesn't care. Or unless he seriously has zero empathy. And someone with zero empathy should not be a police officer.
Oh, God, no. Yeah. Absolutely not. It's disgusting. I was embarrassed again. Again.
I know. You cops keep embarrassing Danny. Yeah.
Listen, that's one thing. If I'm able... When my field screws up, when my team screws up, I'm going to tell you they screwed up.
And you know what? Why it's so highly respected and why so many people like you and follow you and you have such a good following? Because not many do that. Police stick with their own. And I understand and I get it because even in my field, you got to stick with your own to a point. If I knew somebody in my field, like we have bad reputation in my industry as well. There's a lot of sex crimes with children, and there's a lot that goes on in my business. A lot. I'm in the entertainment business. So much stuff in Hollywood lately, and it usually revolves around sexual and emotional abuse crimes like that, coercive stuff, and all that kind of stuff. And for me, I'm the first one to defend people. But if it's something like that, oh hell no, you're to the wolves, man. You want to do something nasty to the kid? You want to do that crazy stuff? No, I won't. So I agree with you as well, but not many people do what you do. If the cops are wrong, you're like, fuck them, they're wrong. And that's, I kind of think why people respect you.
Yeah.
Is because you'll tell the truth.
And I know that I lost police friends over that.
Yeah.
I know I have. You know what I mean? Because they're like, why are you doing this, Danny? But see, I don't want to be like everybody else. When my party's wrong, I'm going to tell them they're wrong. If Trump's a screw up, I'm going to say Trump's a screw up. I just don't get why people... Like I said last week, America's your team.
Yeah.
Why are you sticking for your favorite team's not Democrat or Republican? America's your favorite team.
We still gotta go get that. I love that. He said this
I'm getting a shirt.
I got it. And he said it and stuck with me like all week. It really did. It's not Democrat. It's not Republican. America is your team. Be a part of the team or don't. Like, get the fuck out. Or get out or be a part of the team.
Yeah, I mean.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I would say 95% of the cops are good people. Yeah. 95%. 5% aren't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And those 5% keep messing up, though. I mean, back to back. The one where they shot the girl, then this one. And they're just like, it almost seems like, and all of them are built around empowerment, that they seem so entitled and so empowered because they're officers to say and do what they want.
It's a lot of power.
It is
It's a lot of power. Yeah. People don't realize that. And, you know, police salaries have went up, but they used to be very low.
Yeah.
I didn't make a lot of money. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just, you know, $80,000. You know what I mean? But when I first started out, I was making like $20,000. You know what I mean? So cops don't make a lot of money.
One of the largest, and I only know this because of a podcast that I listen to called LISK. It's really good if you can check out that podcast. It's the Long Island Serial Killer podcast. I love it. I'm addicted to it. They were, I think, the second or third police station in the United States ever. It's the Suffolk County Police Department in Long Island, New York. They're the highest paid officers, the biggest police officer, and the biggest corruption scandal ever. And they're massive. Those guys make money. Some of them are making $400,000 just living on this. But it's a massive island. Long Island's a very long island.
I know.
Department.
Yeah.
So they're making a lot of money in these uppers, but there's a lot of crooked, and it's like, God, it does make me think sometimes, where are the good cops?
Two cops I worked with were arrested. Two of them.
Yeah.
One stealing $5,000 from the evidence room, and another one stealing money from drug dealers.
Yeah.
That's two guys I personally worked with that were arrested.
Same thing for me. I worked with a photographer in one of my old agencies here in Las Vegas, and he's in jail for life. Pedophilia. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was a photographer for me for 4 years.
Ugh.
Yeah, but he's in jail for life.
The guy that stole the $5,000 from the evidence room, gambling addiction.
Yeah. Addiction. That's something that we're going to have to talk about. Guys, we are going to go ahead and take a break. And when we come back, we're going to bring our guest on. Tell me our guest's name.
Jason.
Jason's coming back. He's got a lot to talk about. I met him right before the show, actually a couple weeks before the show. Very interesting guy. We're going to have a lot to talk about, guys. We'll be right back.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause because we're always doing things for veterans. But GI connections, social media shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Now on digital and DVD.
Hit it.
Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star is an epic sci-fi adventure.
Do what needs to be done.
An edge-of-your-seat wild ride.
We have company.
Tons of popcorn-munching fun. 5 stars. A love letter to the sci-fi films of the 70s and 80s. With plenty of action and fun for all. You need to see it. You really do.
The captain just decided it's time to go.
I am ready for a sequel. Experience a bold new adventure. Space Wars: Quest for the Deep Star.
A good old-fashioned adventure.
Now on digital and DVD.
Welcome back, guys. Vegas Views, Dawn Sullivan, Danny Miner, No Meds. And today we have with us Jason. Jason is a friend of ours here, and he has a story to tell. Jason, so I just heard also you are not afraid to be canceled.
I have a few stories.
All right.
Yeah.
You got some stories, and he's not afraid to be canceled, so this is good. He meshes well with us. Danny and I generally don't do well with when we do interviews with people because they watch what they say, but I have a feeling Jason's not going to watch what he's saying here with us. Okay, Jason, tell me a little bit about you. Where are you from originally?
So I grew up in Colorado.
Okay.
Primarily, my father was in the oil industry, so we move around about as much as the military over the years. But I grew up in Colorado, always called that home until I found Vegas.
Okay.
Vegas now I consider more my home state. I did move away just last year from the lake. I was at Lake Mead for a while.
Yeah.
I had to move away for a while and went back to Colorado for a little bit, but I will be moving back to Vegas here shortly.
Welcome back. Yeah. That is
Absolutely.
fantastic.
Vegas is home. That's really what
cool.
it's. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit before break. We were talking about you have a big life story. You have done a lot in your time. And
done a lot of damage.
You've done a lot of damage. Okay, so this is going to be very helpful to our audience. You know, I'm a psychologist. I also have my own struggles, and we are very real on this channel. Talk to me. Addiction issues. Well, I want to ask first, before we go on to you, Jason, any addiction issues with you?
I was just going to say.
I don't know that about you.
Listen, no, I here's the thing. I have an addictive personality.
Yeah.
I mean, when I like something, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, and I'm doing it every friggin' day. Okay? Yeah. So I used to have, honestly, you're going to laugh about, I had a food addiction. I would eat constantly. I mean, I got so fat. You saw pictures of me.
I've seen the pictures.
Yeah, so I had to go on like, that was my addiction, Jason. I mean, I would eat and eat and eat. And I'm proud of myself because I'm away from it for about 5 years.
Good.
So knowing Jason, that he beat addiction too, I mean, it's amazing because, Jason, I know being a cop, addiction is real. I do. Yeah. I know it's real, and I know people can't help it. It comes to the point you can't help it.
It takes over.
And it makes me sick, Jason, when I see these videos, and I mean this, when I see these TikTok videos of them videotaping these people on drugs and making fun of them, falling down, it's horrible. I scroll right away from it.
That's what I say.
I really do.
I say to myself, and sometimes
I scroll right away
sometimes I comment too, would you go ahead and post somebody dying of cancer?
Yes.
Would you go ahead and post someone dying with their dialysis? I mean, it's the same exact thing. It is 100% a disease. Okay, no matter how you spin it, no matter how you look at it, no matter how someone may be able to control it better than others, it is a disease. So, Jason, let me ask you, addictions. What type of addictions have you had?
All that being said, I am a recovered alcoholic.
Okay.
I spent the better part of probably 3 decades drinking.
Wow.
Both socially and recreationally, and then very heavily. The last 10 years were beyond. The 3rd stage, 4th stage of alcoholism. I ended up homeless.
Okay.
I ended up going to 3 different treatments.
Okay.
Inpatient treatments, so rehab 3 different times before it finally took.
Wow. Can I ask you, so you were drinking for all of that time. Did you know way back in the day when you first started there was a problem, or is it to the latter part of the addiction that you knew
That's what's so insidious about it. It is progressive for most everybody.
Yeah.
That it just kind of, for one, it becomes a friend. It's just it's a good time.
Yeah.
You're drinking on the weekends. You're drinking in college. You're drinking, just for whatever, birthday parties and events and things like that. But that quickly turns.
Yes.
And for not everybody, not for everybody, but for some of us, for many of us, it does turn. It becomes less positive, less enjoyable. It comes at more of a cost. It takes more and more out of it, and you want to do it more.
Sure.
So it just snowballed, and it was very subtle over many years the way it happened. But then there were points all of a sudden after 10, 15, 20 years, I realized, okay, I am. And there was a point where you either fight against that or you embrace it.
Sure.
And I see all the time, and I was at a point too where I actually embraced it. I'm like, the hell with it. I am what I am. I'm a drunk. We're going to do it till the wheels fall off. We're going to do it till we're dead.
Okay.
And there's a point of that where you just really give up. That's the worst part is, F it,
Sure.
and it's over.
So when you gave up, what was the situation when you gave up? You were a homeless person, drinking on the streets?
There were, not so much there. It happened on a few different stages.
Okay.
I, growing up, living in Colorado, reached a point where I had lost everything. I lost my girlfriend of 8 years.
Wow.
I lost my apartment. Of course, I lost my job. I couldn't keep a job for more than 6 months at that point. Everything was gone. I had to come to just be taken in by family, and still wasn't going to quit.
Okay.
Still could find a way around
Sure.
it. Still could make it work. Still could do whatever. And another 10 years go by, and I drink myself further and further and further down, trying to mitigate it, trying to work around it, trying to compensate, trying to make up for it.
Did you ever go and change your choice of alcohol, thinking that would help? Like, okay, so
There was some conventional wisdom
Sure.
on that, stay away from the hard liquors, stay away from the clear stuff, only drink beer. Really, none of it mattered. None of it mattered. Once it reached that point in my own mind, in my own subconscious, that was the only way I could exist. That was the only thing that worked. It was the only thing that made me feel better.
Sure.
And it was gallons of vodka at that point. It was just forget it.
And by the time you ended up stopping, how was your physical health?
Well, what was remarkable was I would stagger, I would shake, I would have all those symptoms, really just like that, just like Nick Cage and Leaving Las Vegas.
Sure.
At that stage, barely eating anything solid, almost all alcohol all the time, the shakes, the whole bit. I sort of drank myself out of hangovers
Sure.
long past that. I was in bad shape, but come to discover, most of my health recovered fairly well after that, when it finally worked. It took a third trip to rehab before it really clicked.
What do you think that click was for you? Was there one specific thing? Was it hitting rock bottom?
There was a bit of a light bulb when I was in treatment. It was in the first week, and there was finally a moment where I truly understood that I could forgive myself and I don't have to hate myself anymore.
Okay.
Because it reached that process of self-destruction for so long.
So I could imagine you looking at yourself saying, okay, like I did this, I created this, and there's a lot of shame that comes along with that.
I did it.
Yeah.
I made these mistakes.
Yeah.
I just about destroyed my entire life. I just about killed myself. Okay, that happened. What can I do? How can I make up for that? What can I be now?
Okay.
And accepting that, letting go of that, was the important part.
Okay. Now, so there's so much out there these days about addiction, guys. Is it a physical addiction? Is it a mental addiction? There's so much there. Now, and everybody has a different belief system. There's so much in the DSM. That's a book where we diagnose and things like that in psychology. For you, what is your belief? Do you believe that you were emotionally drawn to alcohol and got addicted to the alcohol? Or do you believe that you were emotionally distraught and the alcohol was covering what really needed to be fixed, if that makes sense? Did your body get addicted first, or did
it really was. It's often a perfect storm.
Sure.
A combination of elements. For myself, part of it was certain social anxiety.
Sure. So let me ask you, you would drink because you would feel social anxiety, so you would drink so you wouldn't have to feel the social anxiety.
Drinking at parties and drinking like that to open up and have a good time.
Sure.
That's where it starts. That's the easy easy way to start
absolutely.
it. So it was compensating for certain, inadequacies, certain insecurities.
Sure.
Okay, that worked well.
Yeah.
What else can it help me with?
Sure.
And
so it's a tool for you at one point.
It absolutely was,
okay.
in many different times.
So
different
guys,
stages.
you hear this if you're out there and you're just tuning in now. We're talking to Jason about addiction, and he was saying his first couple of stints with alcohol, it was a tool for him. It was helping him. So it was a positive. And many people that are addicts, that's what they'll talk about, their early stages of abuse to whatever substance it is, or maybe not just a substance, that it's a tool for you. It's friendly to you. It helps you. It's doing something for your life. It's for certain drugs and certain things, shopping addictions. You're buying these things, you're getting dopamine hits, you're waiting for it to come in the mail, the package comes, food. In Danny's situation, you're eating something, you feel good about eating, you're looking forward to eating. There's an anticipatory anxiety about eating, an anticipatory excitement about eating. These are all about dopamine rushes. Okay.
That's absolutely right. That's what alcohol was. It always serves a purpose to a point.
Absolutely.
And it always meets a need, and it always fulfills that need until it asks for more. Until the cost exceeds the benefit.
And for you, what did that look like, Jason? What did the cost, the exceeding, what did that look like?
Well, it starts with it starts with a hangover.
Sure.
All right, how bad's your hangover? How long does that last? Okay, can you go and do that again? Can you do that next week? Can you do that all weekend long? Can you do a whole week of it? And okay, so hangovers, then then you stop eating as much, and you're more sick. There's a common expression in recovery is being sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah.
Well, the more that prolongs, the more that goes on, then everything else starts to suffer.
Yeah.
You start calling into work. You start missing appointments. You start treating the people around you more poorly. You blow things off. You're missing things so it pulls you further and further away from everything, from yourself and from the other people that you love and you care about. And it was a progressive thing, because when that happens, then you feel guilty.
Yeah.
And then when you feel more like shit about yourself, then you're going to drink again.
Because you're avoiding. More. So I love where Jason's going with this. Thank you so much, Jason, because the way you're explaining this is just ideal for our audience right now, especially addicts. If you're tuned in and you're watching, again, Jason's talking about alcoholism, but this can refer to any addiction. He's now saying you're feeling the sense of guilt. So you didn't want to do what you're doing at the beginning, but it's helping. Your tools are helping you. So your alcohol or your shopping or your heroin or your methamphetamine or your food or your sex or your porn, it's helping you, right? And then you're utilizing it for something in your life. And then it becomes not so great anymore, but then you kind of end up, would you say, needing it, because now you have this whole sack of guilt. You want to do those things because then you need it.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then at that point, would you also say that your body and your mind together, that perfect storm, now say we need this?
It does.
Okay.
Your body chemistry, your brain chemistry, all of those things begin to adapt more consistently to what you're introducing into your body.
Sure.
Those chemicals and that dopamine and all those other things, your body recalibrates to that. And then you take that away and your body goes, holy crap, what do we do now?
Mm-hmm.
And you hear it all the time. I need a drink. Mm-hmm. That is just in the normal lexicon in our culture.
Absolutely.
I need a drink.
Yes.
I got dumped. I deserve and I need a drink.
Yes.
I got fired. I deserve and I need a drink.
We celebrate. Something great happens. There's a party. The children's birthday parties. There's, what is this now? A lot of stuff on TikTok too is the day drinkers with moms. Very, very concerning. They're like, through COVID, and moms were home a little bit more. They had their kids. So the whole thing was, our kids stress us out a little bit. We're going to be day drinkers. Do you know how many women I speak to that are full-blown alcoholics from COVID to now? Because they just started with a couple of glasses of wine to take the edge off, because the kids, and they realized, this wine's aiding me. Again, just like you said, Jason, there was the tool. It was helping them raise the kids, and it was helping them get the laundry done quicker. And then it was helping them cope with the husband's nonsense. Then it became, oh God, I feel guilty because I yelled at the neighbor, and then I did this and that. And now I have the guilt, so now I kind of need it.
Oh my God, I'm so awful. How do I feel better?
How can I feel better? And then this alcohol, and then they have these little parties of just all these women coming together, and it's constant, wine Wednesdays or tequila Tuesdays. And there's 7 days to the week, and there's 7 alcohols that you can drink in those 7 days. And it's become a massive problem amongst women. I think the age group on the statistic was, 29 to 34 to 38 new moms. This is not what our children of generations need. They don't need to be raised by intoxicated moms. Putting it out there, guys. Not judging you. I'm just saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't carpool, don't pick the
Yeah,
kids
yeah,
up
yeah,
from the,
yeah.
with the vodka in the sippy cup,
Yeah.
and, leave that out.
Uh-huh.
But it does, it gets in, it completely remakes you. If you do it long enough, often enough, not for everybody, but for myself, it completely remade.
Yeah.
Completely redid all my body chemistry, my brain chemistry, all of that, my priorities, my lifestyle, everything else. And so, then you can't separate one from the other. It is all just completely been changed. And the only thing that mattered, the only thing that existed was alcohol.
Yeah.
I didn't even care about any other substances, really. I smoked cigarettes for decades, sure, but didn't need anything else. Alcohol was what it was all about.
Okay. And which some people say that's the absolute worst drug.
It has been said and compared as far as those addictions go.
I disagree, and I agree. It's depending on the situation.
It's the most abused drug.
I would say the most abused drug.
Right.
Absolutely, I agree.
One of the most accessible,
and
most
extremely
accepted.
dangerous.
Yeah.
Extremely. I mean, I believe it's up there with heroin, meth, and fentanyl. I believe alcohol's up there with heroin, fentanyl, and meth. Because one, it's accessible, easy to get to. Depending how you buy, it's very cheap. And three, I feel like from my knowledge that the addiction comes on so smooth. Alcohol addiction
It's so insidious.
it is. It's just a smooth transition to here I am today to 10 years later. Holy shit. Yeah.
How did I get here?
So let me ask you a very serious question. If you don't want to answer it, just let's bypass. A lot of people look at homeless alcoholics and homeless drug addicts and overeaters and all these different things of what's the problem? Like, what happened? A lot of people say, what happened? Is it childhood trauma? Was there adolescent trauma? Was there abuse? In your situation, could you attribute any of your alcoholism to any trauma, or do you say, no, I gradually just became an alcoholic?
It was my own doing. I had a pretty stable, pretty standard. I call it the wonder years of the 90s.
Okay.
I grew up in a suburb in Aurora, Colorado.
Okay.
And it was, there was nothing.
Aurora. I know something about Aurora. Do you know Aurora, dating back, means dawn, my name?
Yes,
Aurora
absolutely.
means dawn, and dawn means Aurora.
Aurora,
So I
yes,
said
the Aurora Borealis. You got all that.
I said if I was ever going to have a daughter, her name would have been Aurora.
As in Princess Aurora from
but Aurora means
But
dawn.
no, there was nothing wrong with my childhood or anything like that. It was just I enjoyed it, then I relied on it, then I used it, and then it became everything. And going back to everything that feeds into what you need and what you want and what you're trying to do to feel better, what you're trying to do to feel good, and it just took over. It just began demanding more and more of a price, more of a cost from me, who I am and what I could do. And until but as far as the homeless thing goes, I have a lot of thoughts about the whole homeless thing because I spent 2 years of my recovery, the first 2 years I was sober in recovery at a homeless shelter in Texas. And so I lived it. I lived amongst it, all for that all the time.
Can you please tell us about that? That in itself, I'm assuming, must have been difficult and somewhat traumatizing as well.
It's kind of a cross between The Walking Dead and Wild Kingdom.
Wow.
The state of people out there, and there are those that suffer, and those who battle, those who fight. Then there are those who welcome it, those who embrace not having responsibility, not having a life, not having to dictate and function.
I have heard that before, and I've talked to a lot of people too that said that, well, I have it better than you, Dawn, and I'll say, you have it better than me. And they said, well, I don't pay taxes, I don't worry about a car payment, I don't have 2 mortgages, I can't understand that, I can't comprehend that. You're okay with having not being a part of society and having not
having any human existence. It is something somewhere beneath.
And they believe
that.
it, and they live it, and they love it.
Yes, they do.
Yes, yeah.
They turn their back on any of it. It's sort of the extreme example of I'm a grown up. You're not the boss of me. You can't tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And they end up in a tent, and they end up with stealing shoes from other people and stealing food and holding up those cardboard signs. And you have to choose to actually have a life. Yeah. And as a human being, it doesn't come automatically. We don't operate by instinct.
Absolutely.
We have to make those choices, and we have to take those actions.
Yeah.
And I saw, yes, there's people that are mentally ill. Yeah. They're out there, and that breaks my heart.
Yes.
All right, those ones, we reach out to, we help.
Yes.
I was involved in helping as well as when I could. But then there are the other ones who literally will not, they will not do any of what it takes to have a life of their own. They will just completely give up on the whole thing and live somewhat less than human.
And I do believe the whole situation is sad because all of addiction is just sad to me in my personal experience, and people that I talk to, it is really sad. But we can't want something for someone more than they want it. So for instance, someone's an addict in your life, a family member, a friend, and they don't want to get clean, but you need them to get clean because you want them to be a healthy, normal person. A lot of the times you don't want them to die, or it's just an annoyance. This person won't change. You still have to like bail them out and help them out and stuff like that. But you can't want something for somebody more than they want it. You said you wanted to be clean, obviously, so here you are today. And you have 7 years?
It'll be 7 years in a month. Well, a month and a half, yeah.
You guys, this is possible. 7 years and a month. That is a very long time to, congratulations. That is a very long time to say, I'm not doing something anymore, and he stopped doing it. Okay? And he just explained to us, generously explained to us those steps so we understand he doesn't have his tool anymore. And then the guilt doesn't come anymore. And then he won't need it anymore. Is there a part of you that's ever like, I am not the same because of this experience?
100%.
Okay.
Entirely.
I
rebuilt myself completely from that point on, from that moment on. I love that. It is all chosen and deliberate. Everything about me and everything who I am is all chosen and deliberate.
So you are an intentional person.
Entirely.
An authentic, intentional person.
Entirely. For better or worse.
For better or
yes.
worse. I love that.
Mistakes and foibles and whatever misdirections.
Absolutely.
But I've now maintained the ability to recover from those things, learn from those things, to make those adjustments.
So let me ask you a question. This is kind of a hard question too. If you had a choice to do it again, would have you taken those experiences?
It's funny. I miss the 80s. I love the 80s.
Okay.
I am a child of that as well. And I made it to Hollywood years ago, but I just missed it. I made it in 92, the same year that Seattle took the whole music scene and hot hell it,
Yeah.
But I was down there, and I had a few opportunities to make it. I played guitar for a long time. I was a musician. And I always have looked back and said, I wish I could have just been there a couple of years earlier and had that shot and made it. I would not be here today. Would not have survived that. If
so it was
any
a
other
blessing in
circumstances,
disguise.
yes. And again, there were already in the real timeline at least 3 occasions where I should not have made it. There were at least 3 very deliberate attempts at suicide.
Wow.
In years past. One of the very and a couple of them were more the cry for help side of things, but a couple of them were absolute pain and rage and self-hatred that I was going to shut that light off. I was going to end it. And so all of those times, I'm lucky to be here.
Jason, do you believe in God?
I don't.
Okay. Do you believe in a higher power?
I really had to do that in the program, and
so
it drove me crazy.
You did the AA
my treatment, the rehab that I did was in Fort Worth, Texas.
Okay.
Very religious centric, very based on that, and I couldn't stand it. I am absolutely an atheist.
Okay.
I came to that conclusion long ago.
Sure.
So, in order to get through their program and do it their way, I had to come up with a higher power because they were just so reliant on giving it over to a higher power. And it drove me nuts. And in order to basically just shut them up, I decided that knowledge was my higher power.
Ooh, I love that, guys.
And that works.
Guys, do you know how many times I have worked with people and sat with people and said, well, their biggest problem is they can't get past give it to God or give it to the higher power, give it to the universe?
No.
Jason just said it. His higher power is knowledge. I absolutely love that.
Good.
So you having the knowledge and you knowing that was something to look higher to.
Exactly.
I love that.
That was
That is
useful. You
fantastic,
don't
guys.
have to give anything over. It's all us. It's all what we have generated, for better or for worse.
Absolutely.
And even giving credit, I think that's horseshit. giving credit, praise to God. I'm sorry, but no, praise to what you did to generate those thoughts, those values, those beliefs, all the good things about religion. We came up with that stuff. That's the best of us. And so giving credit over to anything or anyone for that, I think, is embezzlement. I think it's fraud.
We are all entitled to our opinions. I am so glad that you are sober and the way you got sober. And I love, however, I believe we all should have some sort of a higher power. In your case, that's knowledge, and that's beautiful to me. Mine is God. I do give God thanks and grace and everything to God. My whole thing is
gratitude is huge, no matter where it's placed.
No matter where it's placed.
Yes.
My brother once said to me too, it doesn't really matter what you believe in something. He's like a shoe, believe in anything. So
That's
I really
the power.
like that
Human
too.
belief
Just
in and
having
of itself.
belief in whatever it is. For me,
Absolutely.
it happens to be God, and I do have other belief systems as well. Are we breaking or
we're breaking? Right?
Oh, we're breaking.
Yeah,
oh, we're breaking.
Maria said
Okay.
we still have 10 minutes after.
Because
right?
I'm talking and I see you distracted, and I'm like, and then he's like hand signing. You're gang signing Maria, and I'm like, what's going on here? Okay. Oh, you're too coming back. Okay, so Jason, I wanted to thank you so much. This was very informative, and I hope, and I love the way you tell this story, and I love the way that our audience is going to be able to connect with it, because a lot of people think, and I see this a lot, that you had to have been abused as a child. This is what everyone thinks. You get abused as a child, something's not right, you're masking stuff, and then next thing you know, you're drunk, and then you have this horrific life, and then how do you get clean? And that's like the quick version. Your version is, no, nothing was fine. Everything, my home was good. Everything was okay. You decided, this alcohol is aiding you in something, and you ran with it, stuck with it. You rode it out until the wheels fell off. You cultivated it, and here you are, a sober, wonderful person. And I loved what you said. Also, I want to make mention to this is, I thought you were going to say that you turn the experience around because you could have done something in Hollywood. And instead, you said you would have been dead. So, if you would have went on that road, that
would have been a great ride, but it would have been a
shorter but greater ride. And I thought you were going to say something opposite. So, in a way, the road you did take was the best road for you, and you're grateful for that because. You are.
Absolutely.
So, okay, because I love that when people with addictions can say that they're grateful for things, because I believe in this, whatever your tribulations, whatever it is you're going through, the addiction or not, we all, no matter how you feel about yourself, but we all wouldn't be exactly who we are right now without those things. Danny wouldn't be Danny if he didn't have his issues. I don't know what we would do.
And his enthusiasm.
Right. I don't know where that comes from. I'm going to dig one day because I haven't totally analyzed him. Oh my God. I sent our video to someone very close to me. And he said, oh my God, does that guy take a ton of Adderall? And I was like, no, we're really no meds. Like legit, both of us are not on meds. We're just that kooky. But yeah,
if I hadn't known him well enough, I wouldn't believe it.
You would have thought an Adderall had, right?
Yeah. I've known him long enough.
Right?
I've been accused of doing cocaine too.
No, you're too light. No, you're too much for cocaine. Cocaine's nothing. You're on like a higher level than coke. You're more like a meth or an Adderall, like a 30 milligram Adderall.
Yeah, he's a bit tweaky. Yeah,
he's a tweaky, right? But in a good way. Come on, you're
great
good
way.
Tweaky. Thank you so much, Jason. I truly appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Welcome back to hang out with us.
Thank you very much for having me here. This is really a first. I'm always candid about what I've been through and what it means, but it's the first to actually really share it this openly.
Awesome.
And
Can
it's
we
been
see
awesome.
more of you? Is there going to be more? Are we doing more?
I am moving back to Vegas
Awesome.
in part to be more involved with great things like this.
Okay.
So I'm really excited
And also,
about
keep in mind,
those kind of.
I love saying this, and this is just so true. I am a licensed talent agent for a very, very long time. Hollywood's still right over there. If you want to give it another go,
I'd love to
swing
find
my
out
way.
if I still have any talent. So yeah.
Well, that's what I do. So please come visit me,
Fantastic.
and we can definitely do something there. Whether it's just TV commercials, whatever it is, we'll tap into it somehow. Yeah.
Very
I love
exciting.
that. Thank you so much, Jason.
Thank you.
This show is brought to you by Michelle Kubiak. If you want to buy or sell a home, call Michelle. 702-683-6576.
Got Films is a full-service production company that provides motion picture quality content and production services for use in the film and TV industry. Looking for a seasoned crew, high-quality equipment, or other production services for your film, TV, commercial, corporate convention, sports, news, or interview project? Your search stops here. Some of our projects include NASCAR, American Restoration, Pawn Stars, Counting Cars, Top Chef, BattleBots, Forge and Fire, and Street Outlaws. We have also produced over 60 feature films and documentaries. We're ready for all your needs. Whatever your project, whatever your budget, big or small, Got Films got you. GotFilms.com.
Ready to buy a home? Whether you want to move out of your parents' home for the first time, own a home after renting for years, or buy a place with a spouse or partner, purchasing your first home is a big step. Finding the right home for you and your family has never been easier. New American Funding can help you determine how much house you qualify for, what your payments may be, and get you pre-approved, which will help you put in a stronger offer when you do find your new home. Before you start the home buying process, it's important to consider everything that you want in a home and what that means to you. There are several things you should consider when buying a home. The neighborhood. Location, location, location. School district. Review what school district the house is in. Even if you don't have kids, having a home in a desirable school district will pay off when it comes time to sell your home in the future. Commute times. Check the routes to work, school, grocery stores, and more to see how busy they are and how much time these routes will take. Crime rate. Before you get too involved in the home buying process, check out the crime rates for the neighborhoods you are interested in. Our complete property profile report can give you property ownership, historical tax and mortgage data, neighborhood and school data, local market conditions, and more. Find the right home for you and your family with your complimentary property profile from New American Funding. To get pre-approved or to get your complimentary property profile, contact us today.
Welcome back. Vegas Views, Danny Miner, Dawn Sullivan. Guys, we went over on time a little bit today. We were just with Jason. Guys, if you haven't watched the whole episode, go back and watch the entire thing. Jason was incredible and gave us a lot of knowledge today about addiction, alcohol addiction, and pretty much all addictions. I love the way he told the story. If you really listen, he gave us the full progression of how it is for him, and I'm so happy that he is a sober person today living a beautiful life, and he loves his life. So I just wanted to thank him for that. Danny, what'd you think about that? He's awesome.
It was awesome. And, I knew this with Jason. I know Jason a couple years now, and it's amazing to get off alcohol. I know a lot of people on alcohol that are alcoholics. My buddy was an alcoholic. My best friend, he got during the pandemic, he got sick. Yeah. And I believe if he wasn't an alcoholic and everything, he would have been able to get through it. Yeah. But he died. He died within 2 weeks. So, alcoholism even hurt during the pandemic. You know what I mean? So I knew Jason for 2 years. I admire him because I know how hard that is to get off. Yeah. I know it is.
Guys, anybody for social media shows and you guys are watching anything, you really want to talk to someone, I'm sure Jason has worked the program before. He'd be willing to reach out and speak with people. Just get in touch with myself or Danny or Maria for social media shows. Let us know and we will hook you up with Jason. He is willing to help and get on a platform and help you guys. I know sometimes all it takes is just one person you can connect with. Really super cool, open guy. He's not afraid to tell the truth. Again, this concludes one more amazing show with Danny Miner, Dawn Sullivan, No Meds, We Talk Shit.
We may be back next week.
Well, no, I don't think we're going to get canceled. It wasn't that bad this time. You know what? Next week, though, I have to talk to you about something. I have a brand new student of mine.
Oh, no.
And he's transgender.
Okay.
And I want to set you up for next week, and I wanted to talk to you about some of the stuff with the transgender people in sports.
Okay.
So just be prepared for the questions.
Okay.
So guys, you got to log back into this because I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit sticky. If you guys would like to get in touch with me, Dawn Sullivan _. Thank you for all the love I'm getting. You guys have been amazing. I've been so busy with my talent agent stuff and dream tracks, but thank you so much for all the love and the Instagram love. My followers are going up again. You guys are just showing so much support. I'm doing the International Model and Talent Association January 8th to the 12th in Los Angeles this time, not the New York trip, the LA trip. I just held an audition for that. Absolutely amazing. We have the Pearl Theater doing our improv show starting in the first week of October. just a lot of stuff, just like brand new Nike commercial, go on to Dream Tracks group page. It's actually Dream Truck Studios now. We changed it to Dream Truck Studios on the group page. You can see all the work that we have going on there. Truly appreciate all of my followers, all my fans. You know who I like more, even the haters. Danny, how can these guys get in touch with you?
Listen, one platform, at the Crime Solver TikTok. That's it. That's it. Easy. And listen, a lot of my haters, they hate me.
Yeah. Your haters are starting to hate me. So now I get secondhand, like it's like secondhand smoke. I'm getting like secondhand hate. You run with Danny. I'm like, oh.
It was bad this week. I really got a lot of hate. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Are you okay?
No, I'm cool with it. I love it.
I just say that just to be pleasant.
I love it.
Like, are you okay? I know you're okay. Because the cameras will go off and he'll be like, I don't give a shit about them. I like my followers, the ones that like me. I hate my haters. Anyway, thank you for all the work you do, Danny.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, my whole week with news has been amazing. Our production lady's like, shut up. You guys ran already.
I know, we did. We went long today.
I know. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
See you next week.
See you next week.